يا أهلا وسهلا فيكم ببرنامجكم سماشي. متواجدين الآن بقمة المستقبل للابتكار في دبي. عم نحكي عن المواضيع المتعلقة بالمستقبل، رح نحكي عن العديد من الأخبار، عن عالم الاستدامة، عن العالم الافتراضي، الميتافيرس والكريبتو كورنسيز والعملات الرقمية، وأكيد رح نحكي عن الفضاء أيضا. خليكم معنا وتابعونا. ورجعنا لكم من جديد ومعنا ضيفنا السيد عدنان النوراني مؤسس قمة المستقبل للابتكار. أهلا وسهلا فيك معنا اليوم.
مرحبا.
حابين نعرف بداية، نحن باليوم الثاني للقمة، فبالتالي حابين نعرف أكثر عن الابتكار والمستقبل، كيف اندمجوا سوا وليش قررتوا أنكم تعملوا هاي القمة؟
القمة احنا عملناها لأن عشان ندعم مشاريع الشباب اللي في الإمارات. احنا اليوم عندنا تلاميذ مبتكرة الحمد لله ومبدعة، فلازم توجيهات حكومتنا الرشيدة احنا لازم دائما نكون رقم واحد ونكون مثابرين ونكون مبدعين. فصراحة دولة الإمارات عطنا الخير، احنا لازم نرد الجميل.
تماما، وفعلا فئة الشباب يعني هم المستقبل، ولكن انتم عم تطرحوا مواضيع جدا مهمة، يعني في مواضيع متعددة، سواء كان الفضاء اللي تم النقاش فيها اليوم، الاستدامة وغيرها من المواضيع الأخرى. فممكن تخبرنا أكثر؟
اليوم كان المواضيع الأساسية كانت الفضاء والاستدامة وخدمة وتكنولوجيا الميتافيرس. والمواضيع الفرعية كانت عن التربية وعن الصحة وعن الاتصالات، وكان الله يطول في عمرك عن تقنية البلوك تشين، وكانت عن شو الحوار يدور حول مستقبل الفلوس الرقمية. فكانت حوارات متعددة، واليوم كان عندنا كبار الشخصيات، حضور الشيخ صقر بن محمد القاسمي، كبار الشخصيات دوار حكومية من وزارة التربية، مركز محمد بن راشد للفضاء، عندك وكالة الإمارات للفضاء كانوا موجودين، طيران الاتحاد كانوا موجودين، وحتى دبي فيوتشر فاونديشن بعد كانوا موجودين. فالحمد لله وتم الشكر، كم من السفراء والسفراء كانوا موجودين مثلا، والوزراء عندك سفيرة مالطا وسفيرة كونغو، وعندك من الوزراء اللي كان موجود وزير الطاقة من أرمينيا كانوا موجودين. والحمد لله، وأهم المواضيع كانت، وحتى ضيف الشرف اللي كان أبو رئيس الوزراء بريطانيا ستيلي جونسون كان موجود. والحمد لله كنا موجودين مواضيع وتطرقنا وهذا. وثاني يوم كان عندنا حوار مع الفاتيكان سيتي، نتكلم عن السلام وعن المستقبل الشباب.
وما يعني هذا لدولة الإمارات تحديداً، إنه هيك مثل هيك قمة عم تجمع أشخاص من حول العالم لحتى يجوا يحكوا بالمستقبل.
الله يحفظ شيوخنا وحكومتنا الرشيدة وحكامنا، احنا دائما ما يرضون إلا برقم الواحد، واحنا نسعى أن نرد الجميل في أرض الطيبة وأرض الخير والبركة طال عمرك.
تمام. وفي نقطة اللي هي جذبتني بهذا الموضوع، انه الوزارات عم تتدخل وعم بتكون موجودة وبطريقة يعني فعالة جدا، وبتوقع هذا الأمر كثير مهم للتقدم.
شوفي طال عمرك، احنا حكامنا هم مدرسة، احنا نتعلم منهم نتعلم منهم، نكون بقمة التواضع. اليوم دوائر الحكومة الحمد لله من مدراء أقسام كلهم بقمة التواضع.
صحيح.
واليوم دولة الإمارات تستقطب أكثر من 100 جنسية حول العالم، ودولتنا الحمد لله دولة السلام، الدولة اللي فيها الأمان والاستقرار.
تماما، وهذا الشيء رائع جدا. شو بدنا نشوف بالنسخ القادمة للقمة؟
الحين لو قلنا النسخ القادمة شو؟
هلا عم نشوف ميتافيرس.
المشكلة كل ما نسوي مشروع ياخذون المشروع الأفكار وناس ثانية تسويه، فالموضوع الثالث الموضوع الثالث خليه مفاجأة إن شاء الله، والقادم أجمل.
أكيد نحن متأكدين. شكرا كثير لك ولجهودكم.
إن شاء الله. شكرا.
متواجدين نحن الآن بقمة المستقبل للابتكار في دبي بنسخته الثانية، واللي عم بيشدد على أهمية الابتكار لدفع الحلول المستدامة في مواجهة التحديات الملحة الراهنة والمستقبلية أيضا، وفي علاقة إيجابية بين الابتكار والأداء المستقبلي للأجيال القادمة في المجالات كافة، علاوة أيضا على ضرورة تمكين وتوظيف تلك القدرات في تطوير مجالات معرفية ومهارات مستقبلية فعالة في مواجهة تلك التحديات. And we're here with our guest Nadim from Binance. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us more about your conversation downstairs. You were talking about the future for cryptocurrencies and what's happening here in the region.
Yeah, well, we're very excited to be here today. Obviously, being associated with innovation is something that we really close and hold close to our hearts. One of the big topics we talked about downstairs was around Binance's presence here in the Middle East and globally. As you would have seen more recently over the last 2-3 months now, we've become regulated in many different parts. 2 different regulators here in the UAE, one in Bahrain, and most recently our regulations out in France. And so, look, I think that's a testament to the kind of work that we're excited about doing. We want to bring crypto adoption to the masses, right? That's really our mission statement. That's our objectives. And so working closely with the UAE and more importantly across the rest of the region, it's exciting for us to be able to be here. But I also think it's a big testament to the UAE, right? The UAE are trying to and becoming very fast the crypto hub of the world.
100%.
And it's quite exciting to see how much innovation and how much investment they are driving. So from our perspective, to be here and to be associated with that is obviously very important and very humbling. We're very excited to be present here in the UAE and hopefully continue to grow.
That's amazing. Why did you decide to expand, and especially like here in the region?
Yeah, look, I think the drive really starts with where governments and where regulators want to open up, right? If you rewind actually to when this entire space started, right, with Satoshi Nakamoto, and maybe even 10-15 years ago, right, maybe like 2015, 2016, there was no regulation, nowhere, right? Everyone was saying this was a fad, this was going to go away.
100%.
Whether that's obviously crypto or blockchain, we can bifurcate those 2 discussions, but. Fast forward to today, and I think the world has quickly realized that this isn't going away, right? And so you've seen forward-thinking governments and forward-thinking central banks and regulators step forward and try to embrace the space, and more importantly, drive innovation in that space, right? And so from that perspective, we chose the UAE because they're one of the first ones to really step forward. Our current CEO of the MENA region, Richard Teng himself, was ex-ADGM CEO, right? And so I think that shows, he was one of the pioneers in the space and globally actually to put together a crypto framework. And so I think that's a testament to why the UAE stands strong and why we've obviously chosen to be here before anywhere else.
And you're heavily recruiting here as well in the UAE.
We are, yes. Obviously go online to our careers page if anyone's interested. We'd love to see your CV. We love to bring in strong talent. We obviously are hiring quite aggressively everywhere we can. And we need it, right? We can't grow fast enough. So if you're interested, please reach out to our careers page, look on appropriate roles and apply.
That's nice. Tell us more how innovation is linked with blockchain cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, great question. Look, I think it's good that you bifurcate the 2, right? I think crypto at the end of the day are just native tokens on different blockchain projects, different blockchain ecosystems, right? And so I think it's important to know the difference between the 2. I personally, once upon a time, was a banker, right? I was a banker for 15 years before I joined the crypto space. Extreme TradeFi, as they call it. And then I joined the blockchain and crypto space in 2015, 2016. And it quickly demystified what the difference is, right? And I think it's very rightfully, you hear a lot of people say that crypto, 90% of projects will fail. Well, that's rightfully so, just like businesses today, right? So I don't think it's just attuned to just the crypto space. But blockchain in itself is an amazing technology, right? I mean, if you think about hash algorithms before and even where blockchain came, it isn't a new invention. Actually, the concept and mathematics behind it has been around for decades already. It's just that technology has finally caught up to enable us to do this. Now, what that has brought around, if you think about blockchain, is the creation of new businesses, right? I was mentioning it on stage earlier on. You know, we obviously have seen the growth and birth of things like decentralized finance, DeFi, new projects that run autonomously, DAOs as they call them, decentralized autonomous organizations. These wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for blockchain, if it wasn't for smart contracts, and if it wasn't for the space, right? And so I'm excited to see where this goes next, right? And so to answer your question more directly, how do I associate the two? Blockchain is innovation, right? It's bringing innovation to how businesses can operate, how we can create the new space, how we can interact in, you know, the metaverse, and how we can give birth to hopefully an entirely new business.
And even not only businesses, let's talk about individuals. Like me as an individual, for instance, how can it make my life easier?
Yeah, you know, I think that's a great question, right? If you look at how you as an individual are going to be impacted by any innovation, not just crypto, blockchain, actually the better the innovation, the more seamless your interaction is with it, right? You don't want to be disrupted in what you do, but you just want to see that a facilitation of what you do is improved. And so I think, you know, as blockchain becomes more adopted, as crypto becomes more adopted, you will start seeing those impacts day to day. As of today, obviously the freedom of money and flexibility and movement of money has become a lot easier thanks to crypto, right? One of the big use cases that we first started in the space was payments, right? Being able to facilitate payments internationally at a cheaper rate, more quickly, more efficiently, is one of the big things that crypto and tokens around the crypto space are doing. For example, my ex-employers, Ripple, do that today, right? So, but then if I think about the next stages, right? Cutting out the middleman, cutting out costs, cutting out efficiency, you know, lack of efficiency in the space. And so that's where I think you will start seeing it. You know, you should start seeing services being delivered to you more efficiently, more cost effectively, and hopefully more simply, right? And so that's kind of where DeFi really plays around with it.
There's another side also to it as well, which is security. And it's a huge side, honestly. Because yes, with blockchain and now the crypto, people are transferring huge amounts in a couple of seconds, and the fees are very, very like tempting, to be honest, compared to the traditional ways. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, look, security is top of mind, right? We stand strong with what we call SAFU, which is, you know, our backing and our safety to insurance and users for money on the exchanges. But, you know, let's also be honest, right? We've seen disaster cases with exchanges, you know, not to name them obviously, but you know, history has shown us that we do need to trust people. But that's where I think regulation needs to also play a part, right? Which is why I'm excited actually, and I embrace seeing regulation. I mean, being an ex-banker, I love that regulation comes into the space, because that is how we ensure that people are safe, right? That is how we ensure that people are secure with their funds and actually feeling comfortable to invest. You know, crypto adoption, people don't realize, is only about 5-6% globally. It's nothing. We have barely even touched the surface, right? So if you really want to see the next 10x, more regulation will come in, right? And so I'm excited the next 5 years are going to be a exponential growth in this space. And security plays a big part of that. The more secure you feel about opening up an account and putting your money into the space, the more you're going to see people adopting it.
100%, and more people will be using it. Thank you so much, Nadeem, for being with us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me.
وهلا رح اترككم مع زميلي شهير الكندي، رح يسال الحضور عن ارائهم وشو استفادوا من هذا الايفنت. خليكم معنا ولا تروحوا لبعيد.
Hey Keith, thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, thank you for inviting me.
So can you tell us a bit more about what you're doing here and about ProCVT?
Sure, so ProCVT is a product that we've made, we're called ProBiometrics. What you'll see here is one of our visitors who's decided that she wants to see her vital signs being recorded. Hello. And all she's done is she's laid down on the bed, and underneath the bed sheet there's one of these, which is what we call ProCVT. And what that's doing is it's taking a reading through the bed sheet, through her clothing, and you can't see probably from there, but on the back of the screen you will see the live transmission of her ECG, from which we're able to get heart rate, respiration rate. We're also getting temperature, and our proprietary measurement, which is called cardiac vagal tone, which is a measure of the parasympathetic nervous system. So what that means, in a nutshell, is that we're able to monitor her health from anywhere in the world, on any computer device, because it's an Internet of Things device, over the long term, because it's a device that she can forget about. Once she's put it on her bed, she just goes to bed, every night it will take a long reading, so you can measure her heart health over long periods of time. Or if it's used in a clinical environment, like a hospital, or a care home, then it means that the clinicians are able to watch, keep an eye on her. It can be an alert-based system.
And it also saves resources for both in medical hospitals and for people's personal uses with transport and like human resources.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Particularly in a hospital and care home and clinic environment. If you look at hospitals, it's normal to have to check up on patients manually every 6 hours in my country. There's a lot of disturbing that goes on, which doesn't help in terms of how fast you heal, but also it's a lot of nursing time and resources that it takes up. And one of the value propositions we have is the ability to reduce that, and therefore the hospital's saving money. Nurses are able to do something that's a bit more useful than just checking.
How long did it take to develop the Pro CVT?
So this is a prototype device. It's taken 3 years to get to this point, I would say. But that's not just what you're looking at here. It's also the systems that are cloud-based systems, which are doing the computation, both for the ECG but also for our CVT, which is a bit more complicated. So 3 years, I would say.
Where do you see the future of medcare going?
This, we like to think of it as Star Trek technology. Everybody knows Star Trek, and the bloop, bloop, bloop. We want to do a bit of that. So basically, this will enable us to get enough data. When we have enough of these out there and enough people using them, we're going to get a lot of data back, which will allow it will allow the research community to research into all sorts of diseases. We're already doing research into diabetes and into sleep, deep sleep. We're already showing how CVT relates to those particular diseases. So what it means is that you're going to be able to progress, you're going to be able to measure the progression towards those diseases and make interventions in a more timely way. So you're reducing the incidence of, let's say, diabetes. We know that's a problem out here. It's a problem in my country too. So you're reducing the incidence of it. You're making people healthier, you're making people happier, but also you're saving the government a lot of money at the same time.
And what are you looking to get out of the Future Innovation Summit?
We're mainly here looking for investment. So we've got so far as to make this prototype, which as you can see is fully functional. We now have to go to the process of taking this to full up manufacturing, and then we have to go to, in order to get it into hospitals, we have to get medical device certification. So primarily we're here for funding. We're partnered with the private office of Sheikh Saqib bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, and that's partly for the funding, but really when we came to the UAE, I think the strategic alignment with the UAE's healthcare ambitions was equally as important. I mean, here it's quite clear what the government wants to do in healthcare, which is to become a global leader, an innovator, and we know that when the UAE says they want to innovate, they do, and they get on with it. So for us, it's perfect.
Thank you so much and good luck.
No, thank you very much.
Hello, thank you for joining us.
Hello, my name is Michael.
Nice to meet you. So can you tell us about this beautiful piece of technology?
So we're a Skystream company. This is Sea drone. This drone is waterproofed. So we already tested 2 times in Attic region, and 1 time we tested last year at Dubai. So we can use it for saving lives because this drone can bring life jackets. We can take sample of waters, can make video, photo monitoring, and so we hope to relocate our team and our factory to Dubai. And here we're looking for investment for this.
How long did it take to develop this piece of technology?
About 3 years.
And where do you see the future of it going? How far can we reach?
We have 2 models, electric version and hybrid version. Electric version flight time is 40 minutes, it's about 15 kilometers. And hybrid version flight time is 2.5 hours, and it's flying for 50 kilometers.
So why is it perfect for you guys to be here at the Future Innovation Summit?
Well, we are a part of accelerator from Russia and Emirates, and so we want to open company here. That's why we're here on Future Innovation. We want to present our drone, and of course we want to find investment because we need investment to relocate our team and our factory. We needed to transfer technology.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much and good luck.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Hi Faisal, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure, always a pleasure to be with you guys.
Thank you. Can you tell us more about Robo Ads, please, and what you guys are doing here today?
Sure, definitely. So our company is Robo Ads. What we do is we build mobile advertising robot. Think of it of screens on wheels. So the purpose of this is to showcase advertisements, but today we're going to show you something new. So we've built a new digital human. It helps you and your companies and your brands to service customers. Hey, good morning, Kira.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here and participate in the Future Innovation Summit.
So Kira was built to service people and enhance people's life. It can tell you about directions, it can tell you about different venues, if you want to say where I can get some coffee or espresso. So it can catch that, direct it. And the future for Kira is that you can now order from the menu directly and you can pay on the robot itself.
So she's gonna start being a part of people's households, basically.
Well, I mean, we're living the future, right?
Why not?
Take coffee. I'd rather take coffee than compliments just
Now she needs some coffee.
You can find the most amazing coffee shop.
So she can tell you where to go,
They serve all
where to
types of
visit,
coffee.
what kind of coffee on the menu. And that's something where people need
I
support.
would go for the espresso. Its finger looks good.
And what do you hope to get out of being in the Future Innovation Summit?
I mean, this is our second year at the Future Innovation Summit. We're happy to be here. We already signed off for next year as well. I mean, the thing is just going on and on to the top level. So we're also thankful to Mr. Adnan Al-Nourani. Mr. Adnan, he's been very helpful to support us, as well as His Highness Sheikh Sakr.
Adnan Al-Nourani is chairman of the board at the Office of Sheikh Sakr, founder of the Future Innovation Summit and CEOs of D1 Technologies and LEO Investments.
She knows everything.
She's got us covered.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck with everything you're trying to achieve here.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll see you next year.
شكرا لزميلي شهير الكندي وهلا خليكم معنا في فقرتنا القادمة. And we're back with our guest Daniel, investor in the sports industry. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Tell us more, what are you doing here in the Innovation Summit?
Well, I think, to be honest, I didn't really understand how powerful this would be before I came. I knew there would be opportunity, but the best thing about opportunity is it only appears when we actually step forward and go look for it. And I was invited, had the privilege of being invited to be a speaker on a panel dealing with the metaverse. But in my industry, which is very sports focused, I look across sectors and I'm meeting fantastic delegates here from all areas, and it opens your mind to various opportunities. So I'm an investor and I'm looking at crypto, Web3 that can connect to the sports industry, but I'm also finding huge opportunities for collaborations across the board. So
That's amazing. How do you see future innovation, and especially in the sports industry? Like, are we going to see matches, for instance, in the metaverse and things like that?
Well, sports is a great opportunity for the metaverse, for example, when people are looking to engage in sports in a new way. And, I'm old enough to think, that it took me a while to get used to this concept. But now that we can engage with the sport, and it's just not just the 40, 50,000 people in the stadium, but you can widen that engagement through such an immersive experience such as the metaverse, I'm sure that sport is going to be, obviously I'm not objective, I'm all about sports, but I'm sure that sports is going to be a big winner of any development in the metaverse. But I also, as an investor, as a word of caution, things will take time. And to imagine we know what will happen and what the metaverse is really going to look like is a mistake.
Yeah.
We need to take it step by step and find real value for the users rather than imagining we know what they will have today. So that's with my investor hat on.
That's amazing, but I want to ask, why sports industry? You're an investor, but you're specific, very specific about.
Wow. I mean, I've been working in the sports industry for 22 years, and I feel that's a never-ending privilege for me. I love sports. As a kid, I was always loving sports. And anyone who works in the sports industry, we're lucky because we work in something that we have a passion about. And for me, team sports is number one as well. I follow individual sports as well, but team sports for my own individual aspect, but also dealing with this as a business. The beauty of football is that when we get on the football pitch together, we're all the same. And for me, that's an expression of diversity at its best. No one cares anymore whether you're this color, this race, that race. And only what is important is the teamwork and the chase after the goal. That is the only thing that's important. You do it together. And what I find interesting is that we're here at the Future Innovation Summit. I find there's a lot of reflection in the way the UAE is looking at its own agenda and its own vision going forward. of that total tolerance, the acceptance of everyone into one field of play, the power behind diversity. That's what I find is reflected on the field of sports in any game, and especially football, which is my real passion, of course. And that's why I love it, and I just feel very, very lucky to be involved in such an area.
That's really amazing, especially sports, like it's growing. How do you see it in the region especially?
So I think there's a long way to go, let's say. There's a lot of improvement that can be made. And for me, it's not only at the top level, it's actually starting at the grassroots level. I think there needs to be a minimum 10-year plan to try and upgrade sports in this region. And I think that in the GCC region altogether, I think the UAE could take a lead as it does in so many things. But to think, how do we take children of today, get them more interested, build a culture around sports, get them out of the house, get them off their technological devices, but even connect them with sport through technology, turn those children into sports lovers, maybe amateur players, maybe those people will be professional, maybe those people will represent the Emirates at one stage. I think that's a fantastic thing, and because sport has it has an impact across the world and across everything we do, I see sports as a fantastic medium to take and to really reflect what the Emirates is trying to do going forward. But it's a minimum 10-year plan. Let's do it. I'm passionate about being involved in some way.
100%, but it's growing. And the nice thing is the mindset shift even between societies, families, because we've been raised in a way that you have to be a doctor, a lawyer, or but however, so many kids are passionate about being football players, for instance, and things like that. But I think there is a bit of shift, but we have a long way to go as well.
For sure, but I think what we need to do is embrace the modern way of dealing with sports. I mean, people say, oh, the kids need to go play outside like we did when we were kids. That's not going to happen. We have to say what technology is available to enhance the sport. Instead of technology being against sport, I don't believe that at all. In fact, I invest in sports technology companies for that exact reason. And I think that we have to think, how can data and analytics increase the engagement of children to bring them closer to sport rather than further away? And I think there are huge value adds here. Even on the social side, you talk about metaverse. I actually think these can promote sport rather than work against them. But we have to modernize our thinking all the time. And that's the way life is.
What do you think of the streaming sports as a business as well, and especially also like here in the region, for instance? And do you have any investments in streaming platforms for sport?
Video is number one. It always will be. Data is good, information is good, for an engagement perspective, I mean, but nothing beats video. Video makes us feel that we're connected to it. And streaming technologies allow people to be more connected across the board. Gone are the days where we couldn't watch the game. Now you can watch anything streamed. But what I'm more interested in is the upgraded streaming now through augmented reality. You now get overlays. I'm looking forward to technologies, and I've invested in one company actually that deals with overlays on streaming where you can press a player and get information about him. And one level further is where we try and make a two-way dialogue between the fan and the club or the team. He's not just getting an information flow one way, he's actually involved in that. And that is all about engagement, and more engagement through video, through streaming, is going to take things forward.
What's the most important thing you look at when you want to invest in a company?
Most important thing I look for? Team. Always. Because it doesn't matter how good your technology is, it's always about people. And in fact, the more technological our world becomes, the more important people are in driving the right vision. And so it's always about the team. I prefer having someone who has the right vision and the right tools to be able to know how to execute on that vision rather than the technology itself. I think technological IP is almost overrated. I mean, that might sound a bit crazy, especially as a technological investor. The technology doesn't exist for technology's sake. It's there to serve a purpose. And that's where people drive the vision. So it's all about the team.
Amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much.
محاور الابتكار مهمة جدا في المناهج التعليمية والأنشطة التربوية أيضا، ولدى الوزارة العديد من المبادرات والعمليات التعليمية والإدارية والمناهج وتغذية الجيل الجديد أيضا بالأفكار الجديدة لمواكبة التغييرات العالمية، مع التأكيد على ضرورة التركيز على البحث العلمي ومضاعفة الجهود المبذولة التي تواكب مسرعات العالم. رجعنا لكم من جديد ومعنا ضيفتنا حنان، وإذا حنان معنا أكيد بدنا نحكي عن الاستدامة. يا أهلا وسهلا فيكي معنا اليوم.
شكرا.
خبرينا أكثر شو عم تعملي هون بقمة المستقبل للابتكار، وبدنا نحكي عن الاستدامة اليوم والابتكار مع بعض سوا.
بالضبط، هو قمة الابتكار طبعا ما بنقدر لا نستطيع نتكلم عن الابتكار دون أن نتكلم عن الاستدامة، لأن اليوم تحديات الاستدامة جدا جدا كثيرة تحديات، إنها كيف ممكن نستمر وكيف ممكن تستمر الحياة وتستمر الإنسانية إذا ما عرفنا كيف نجد حلول مبتكرة للتحديات الاستدامة. فهذا اللي إحنا اليوم تطرقنا له في الحوار اللي كان قبل شوي عن كيف يمكن أن نجد حلولا مستدامة للتحديات البيئية والتحديات الاجتماعية التي يعرفها العالم. مثلا عندي معلومة اكتشفتها أن اليوم إحنا كبشرية على حسب التقديرات في سنة 2050 الكثافة السكانية تزيد إلى 9 مليارات نسمة. فإذا صار هذا الشيء وإحنا حابين أن الأجيال القادمة تعيش نفس أسلوب الحياة اللي إحنا عايشين اليوم، أسلوب الرفاهية، سنحتاج إلى 3.5 مرات من مساحة الأرض. أوف، تخيل. فأنا بالنسبة لي موضوع الاستدامة ليس يعني كلمة رنانة أو موضوع يعني ترند أو sophisticated وكذا، وإنما حبيت أني أوصل الفكرة بطريقة مبسطة أن اليوم إحنا أولادنا وأحفادنا وأحفادهم في 2050 سيحتاجون إلى 3.5 من الأرض إذا استمرينا بنفس الاستهلاك، وإذا استمرينا أن إحنا ما نجد حلول. ويعني إحنا مثلا نظن أنه موضوع الاستدامة أنا مواطن بسيط، إيش ممكن أسوي عشان يعني أساهم في هذا الحلول؟ لا، كل تغيير يعني يحسب له، كل تغيير يعني سيضيف إلى التغييرات نقطة بنقطة يصير عندنا محيط.
خبرينا بليز، وتحديدا للأفراد، كيف ممكن عن جد أنا نساهم ببيئة أكثر استدامة، تحديدا خلينا نقول ديلي تاسكس مثلا؟
نعم، أو يعني بعد العادات اليومية. أنا جد مبسوطة أن حكومة دبي مثلا أطلقت حملة دبي كان، اللي هي نستبدل يعني زجاجات الماء البلاستيكية إعادة تعبئة وإعادة استعمال قارورة الماء اللي هي مستدامة. فعادات مثل هذه بسيطة، يمكن نظهر بسيطة جدا ولكن ستساهم في التغيير. يعني احنا كان عندنا فعالية بمناسبة يوم الأرض وتكلمنا عن يعني كمان اكتشفت فيها بعض المعلومات منهم أن هل تقدرين كم تحتاج تفاحة واحدة من الماء لتنضج؟ أعطيني رقم.
ما عندي أدنى فكرة.
أعطيني رقم عادي.
ما بعرف، 3.
70 لتر.
يا الله،
70 لتر لتنضج تفاحة واحدة. من يوم ما عرفت هذه المعلومة وأنا لا أنظر للتفاحة بنفس المنظر. يعني كل ما أروح أشتري تفاح، هل أنا سأستهلك هذا كله؟ كيف ترميها؟ أنا رميتي 70 لتر من الماء اللي محتاجينها ناس في أماكن يعني محتاجة واللي بيحتاجوها أجيالنا القادمة. فجد يعني المفروض إن إحنا نزيد الوعي، المفروض إن إحنا نحاول نغير عاداتنا. يعني أنا اليوم تحت وإحنا نتكلم هذا الموضوع، وكان ودي أني أخبر الكل أن اليوم إحنا بنتكلم وبعدين سنصعد وناخذ الزجاجة الماء البلاستيكية. يعني هو مش موضوع حكومات ولا الشركات الكبرى، هو المسؤولية. إحنا اللي خلقنا هذا المشكل، وإحنا المفروض مع بعض كمنظومة متكاملة نجد الحلول. لأن اليوم هذا الموضوع لم يعد فقط موضوع ترندي، ولكن هو ضرورة حتمية إذا حبينا نستمر في هذه الحياة.
وتماما. وحتى يعني الحلو إنه كل شخص فيه يساهم بهذا الموضوع، الشركات فيهم يساهموا، حتى عم نشوف العديد من البراندات والعلامات التجارية عم بيشجعوا المستهلكين إنه مثلا خلصتي من شيء ترجعيه، أو مثلا جمعي 5 وترجعيه وبيطلع لك مثلا منتج واحد فري مثلا، بس لحتى يشجعوا الناس على موضوع الريسايكلينج. غير طبعا إنه نحن محظوظين إنه يمكن بدولة الإمارات موجود مثلا الأماكن تبع إعادة التدوير، ولكن هل الأفراد عم يستخدموها ولا هل في تكاسل كمان مثلا إنه لا برمية بأي مكان؟
ما في مسؤولية فردية. احنا اليوم لازم، لذلك نحن نحتاج يعني زيادة نشر وعي من الأجيال الجديدة. يمكن احنا اللي فات يمكن أجيالنا خلاص تعودت، ومن التغيير من الصعب جدا تغيير العادات. يعني ممكن نكتسب عادات جديدة، بس تغيير العادات أصعب من أن نكتسب عادات جديدة. فنركز على الأطفال في المدارس، الأجيال الجديدة على الأقل نحاول أن ننقذ الأجيال القادمة بتلقينهم بعض العادات اللي ممكن تساهم في إعادة التدوير، إعادة الاستهلاك. وأصلا يعني حتى مثلا في ثقافتنا، إحنا ثقافتنا كعرب لازال عنا أن نكرم الضيف
جدا بزيادة.
نكرم الضيف، ولكن طب أنا أروح أتكلم عن الاستدامة ولما أروح البيت ما أغير هذه العادات الثقافة إن لا لازم أقدم للضيف 10 مرات ما سيستهلكه وبالآخر أنا أرميه. طب وين راح هذا الويست وهذا فهذه يعني أشياء اللي إحنا يوميا مفروض إعادة التفكير فيها، ومفروض كيف ممكن نغير عادات شوي شوي لكي نضمن على الأقل أن احنا نسد هذه الفجوات. يمكن ما نقدر يعني بس نزرع هذه البذرة، بذرة التغيير اليوم، يمكن نتأثر بعد ما احنا يخلص وقتنا بهذه الأرض، بس نكون عندنا مسؤولية. صحيح. من اليوم أريد أن أترك هذا العالم أحسن مما وجدته.
تماما. يمكن أنت تركتينا بمعلومة اللي هو موضوع فعلا التفاحة، ما أتوقع أني بحياتي رح أنسى، لأنه فعلا أنه هي التفاحة اللي أنت عم تقولي 70 لتر، فما بالك إذا مثلا شخص ما كملها ورماها مثلا والى اخره. يعني فمسؤوليه فرديه نحن بحاجتها لحتى نوصل للتغيير المجتمعي اللي احنا فعلا ضروري. يعني
ضروري بالضبط، هو ضروري الاستمراريه وليس فقط. يعني انا دائما اقول حتى الاستدامه مرت من ثلاث دورات. ممكن يعني ممكن نسميها استدامه 1.0. مثل بنتكلم عن الثورات الصناعيه، فبالاول كانت يعني شيء جميل ان احنا هذا يعني مثالي. صح. دور مثالي ان الشركه يكون عندها مسؤوليه. بعدين صار الموضوع انه لا، كل شركه يجب ان تنشر تقرير عن الاستدامه والمسؤوليه الاجتماعيه. اليوم مع كل الطفره التكنولوجيه صارت ضروره حتميه، وصار فيها فرص للتجاره، فرص يعني فرص اعمال. اليوم عندنا الكثير من الشركات الناشئة اللي هي أصلاً الحل الذي تقدمه هو حل استدامة.
مليون بالمية. حتى بتعرفي أنا عم بنبسط كثير لما عم شوف صناع المحتوى مختصين في مجال الاستدامة لنشر الوعي في هذا المجال، وهذا الشيء رائع جدا يعني إنه عم نشوفه. بالإضافة إلى ذلك كنا عم نحكي أنا وحنان كمان إنه يعني يمكن كثير في ناس عم بيتجهوا نحو الفضاء وإلى آخره، ولكن إنه عن جد نركز على إنه الأرض اللي نحن عايشين عليها نوصل لأساس جيد من الاستدامة، حتى لما نقرر نروح على كوكب ثاني يكون عندنا الأساس موجود.
يعني كأن الواحد بحس إنه أوكي إحنا يعني دمرنا، يعني التحفظ على هذه الكلمة، بس يعني باستهلاكنا وكذا. صحيح. وبعدين خلاص بدنا بنترك الأرض ونروح ندور على كواكب ثانية. لا، تمام. أنا بفضل أكون من الجانب اللي هو بيحاول إنه يعني يحافظ أو ينقذ ما يمكن إنقاذه. تماما. استمرارية.
إذا بتعطينا هيك نصيحة أخيرة للأفراد شو بتعطينا؟
كل يوم يعني حاولوا تركزوا ماذا يمكن أن نغير في عاداتي اليومية عشان أساهم. يعني هل أنا دائما لما بشتري بستعمل أكياس بلاستيكية؟ هل أنا كل ما في البيت هل أنا عندي مثلا الديسبنسر تبع الماء ولا بجيب القوارير الصغيرة؟ هل أنا لما أروح السوبر ماركت أشتري مثلا الحاجات اليومية هل بشتري أكثر من أنا؟ فلما بروح المطعم هل بطلب أكثر؟ فهاي كلها كل يوم نحاول. واللي حابة يعني أركز عليه إنه لا تفكروا إن هذا التغيير بسيط عشان أنا واحد من مليارات الأشخاص إنه ما حيغير. بالعكس، أنا أغير شوي وأنت تغيري شوي، وبهذه التغييرات الصغيرة إن شاء الله نوصل لبعض الحلول.
إن شاء الله. شكرا كثير لك حنان ولجهودك دائما المستمرة.
شكرا.
And we're back with our guest, Mr. Philip, Director of Dakila Research. Welcome and thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be to you.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us more about your research and especially why are you here in Future Innovation Summit?
Well, I was one of the speakers here. We're presenting some of our technologies here, mainly this one that we were just chatting about the clay. It's a very special clay. It's a unique clay only found in Brazil. We're beginning to understand that we can have many applications with this clay. The main one that interests you guys is that we have a base in Hasselkaima where we are developing the first grape production in the desert and the first wine produced in the Emirates. And it's going to be really nice, really incredible. But the important thing is this. This is to show in a nice way, of course. It's going to attract a lot of attention. What do you mean? A wine being produced in the, in the desert, in the United Arab Emirates. But the problem is this. We can use this technology to produce food in the desert.
Wow.
You see, because if we can produce grapes, we can produce food. The interesting thing about this clay is that it can restore the soil, sort of. so we can produce food anywhere. And also here in Dubai, we have a trading company called Pantanal Trading, which is an import and export company. We import goods from Brazil and export goods from the Emirates to Brazil. And through this Pantanal Trading, we're going to market many different technologies. But here we are developing solar panels with this clay. And the latest tests, well, we're still in the testing phase. The latest test, it is 1,000 times more powerful than the most advanced ones.
Okay, can we go in more details? Tell us more, like what's the technology? How are you producing?
I'm not really, I'm not a technical guy. I'm a director, I'm more administrative. But it is going to be cutting edge and it's going to really amaze people, because with this clay, we are also producing like capacitors, technological components. We're going to be producing them here. In the United Arab Emirates.
How that will affect the economy here in
a great deal, because we are introducing high-tech, sustainable raw materials from Brazil, combined with the, you have a very good business environment here in the United Arab Emirates, and a lot better than in Brazil. We have a lot of bureaucracy, everything's slow and stuff, whereas here, no. So it is the perfect environment for us to introduce all these high-tech technologies. Also because Dubai is known all over the world for its high-tech, focus, in construction in many areas. So it was the perfect marriage, for us.
Exactly, and I was about.
And also the visibility.
Yeah.
One thing is that having these products in Brazil would have one visibility, whereas here in Dubai, no, it's a world visibility. A world projection.
Are there any plans also to expand?
Yes, we have plans to expand. We have plans to build dielectric antennas, which are antennas used for satellites. It's a high-tech antennas. Also here, electric generators.
Wow.
This I cannot talk much about, but it's going to amaze everybody,
No, that's amazing, because also like if you start here in the UAE, then you can expand, and that proves that you can expand in the other countries, GCC and other countries.
Yes, but the thing is that the help we found here, the amazing business environment of Dubai, of the Emirates, of Ras Al Khaimah also.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to find somewhere else. So we're really happy, to work with people. We like very much, the interaction with the locals. We find each other,
and also the infrastructure here supports such projects so much. Honestly, yeah.
Your infrastructure is amazing, really, and we're very happy here, really. I think we're going to have a very long and profitable relationship,
I'm sure.
for both countries.
I'm sure. Plus, you were talking about two businesses, but I think they both support each other as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They support each other. They complete each other.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Mr. Philip, thank you so much, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And we're back with our guest Amanda, founder of Green Tech Global. Welcome, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us more about your company and the innovation in it, the technology as well?
Of course. So our company provides end-to-end solutions for indoor farms. So for local food production mainly, especially for places like this, like the UAE, where they need local food production because they're dependable on the supply chains, right? On importing foods. So why not produce locally when you can? And that's what we bring. We bring the solution for it.
And I think this idea is very, very important. And I think they shed the light on it a lot, especially during the pandemic and COVID, because there were no cargo and even countries were relying so much on, as you said, getting food from outside and things like that. So during the pandemic, it was very restricted. And then countries started paying attention of how important it is to actually have your own goods from your own country as well and produce it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the COVID actually made everyone realize that true problem happening in this world right now, supply chain problems. And
I mean, it can happen so fast that we will have food shortage
and anywhere in the world, right? Even in countries where they can produce their own food, they're still importing foods from different countries, exotic fruits or vegetables that can't be grown there. So any country will realize at some point they will have to move to indoor farming so they can produce any kind of crop. And that is our solution.
And we were just chatting like how important it is for countries like the UAE where the weather doesn't help much really. Saudi Arabia maybe to have indoor farms.
Exactly. So indoor farming, but even for open field farming, you're using so much space and so much water just to produce the food for us humans and for the animals as well. We're using so much space. And if we do it vertically with vertical farming inside in a fully controlled environment where we're replicating different environments for different crops, it's absolutely a solution where anyone can use it.
And how does that help with sustainability as well? Because that plays a role as well.
Absolutely, it's sustainable. I mean, open field farming is not sustainable because the weather change is happening right now, climate change, and if you have 3 crops on an open field and you have a weather storm or rainstorm, you'll lose so much. And there's a lot of money in one crop, in one harvest, right? And if you only have 3 harvests per year, you only have 2 more left. So that's a lot of waste, right? So that doesn't happen in indoor farming.
Exactly.
Everything is fully controlled and safe and sustainable.
That's the most important part, and that's one of the main topics that were discussed also here at Future Innovation Summit. Can you tell us more about the technology that you guys use that's unique?
Absolutely. So our main expertise are our LEDs. Everything is Swiss developed. So my father is a technology developer, the CTO, and the LEDs are from the background of 45 years of LED development experience. So they have very, very high photosynthesis, and so we give maximum photosynthesis to the plants. Everything is fully automated in the system. It's an NFT system, so everything is circulated, the water is circulated and reused. We're using renewable energy, so many factors, yes.
That's amazing. Can you tell us more about like challenges you've faced through the journey?
Challenges we've been facing is convincing people that this is the solution. But I think by time everyone is actually realizing that this is what everyone needs.
100%, and I think with companies like yours, like I think part of it as well is spreading awareness around those topics because it's much needed.
Exactly. I mean, that's the most important part, to actually spread awareness.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you
for being with us.
Thank you.
ورجعنا لكم من جديد ومعنا ضيفتنا ملاك طرابلسي. اهلا وسهلا فيكي معنا اليوم.
اهلين.
حابين بداية نعرف اكثر، خبرينا عن شو كنتوا عم تحكوا بقمة المستقبل للابتكار اليوم.
انجلش. يعني راح احكي عربي وانجليزي at the same time لانه في مصطلحات it's a little bit difficult انه to say it in Arabic. انا امثل very well management consultancies, and I was talking about space investments and robotics, history and the future. Of course, it's under the activities that I manage within Vernwell Management Consultancies, which is a space and tech Dubai-based firm with special focus on dark technology. Dark stands for D as distributed ledger, A as artificial intelligence, R extended reality, and Q, and not K, not dark, it's with the Q. So it is quantum technologies, which are the technologies that they will transform our future. Actually, they are transforming today and moving toward the future with some unprecedented paradigm shift in space exploration and also Earth, let's say, how we want to perceive Earth in terms of sustainability, green economy, energy, and so on. These technologies will move and pave the way to reach those goals.
جميل. طب ملاك, why did you enter the space of space?
Why I entered the space, outer space, and I entered this space. So it's something came. I'm not going to say that I was little and I was dreaming of space and stars or whatever. I wanted to be a doctor, and I never made it to finish my studies in that field. So at a certain point, I was managing other companies, and all of a sudden, I found myself I wanted to do law because I had some legal challenges. So I started my law and economics bachelor. Then I continued with first master, second master. So first master, it was in European law and public international law, and the second one, international business law. And I specialized in something, it's called space insurance.
Okay.
So I worked on some projects before even the specialty, and I was very interested in finding the way how space insurance can fill some void in international space law, and that was my first thesis. Now I'm making my PhD. It's international investment law in commercial space activities and foreign investor protection. So this is what I'm doing in academia, and that was something that it got me from the legal practice into the business of space. After some time working in the space industry, I saw that some things that I could contribute to. First of all is a human development, which is very, very important, and make access to space from not just awareness and not just advocacy, which I was doing, is to be there and do it. The other thing is, of course, innovation, which is something very, very important for humanity and the future of humanity. And the third part is how to shape the future, bringing together technologies in order to make that quantum leap into the space, into the cosmos, what I say. So bringing a competitive edge to UAE, because I am here, and also around the world, because I don't focus in one jurisdiction or one country. I work internationally.
But did you face any challenges?
Of course, the access was difficult.
Yeah.
The access difficult in terms of when I accessed the space ecosystem, it was, I did not see a lot of women there at that time.
Yeah.
From the space, from the law perspective, even lawyers, they were like asking why this, and they see how it's going to be monetized. It was only for them, they perceive that it's only countries they are active in space, so they did not understand the paradigm shift in the space ecosystem and all what is going to come. So I accessed years back, and today we see the boom, and especially during 2020, the COVID time, which is we did not. I hopefully that it's over, but we never receive like assurance that it's over and it's not going to come again. So the threat is still under under management. But during that time, the focus was on space. Investments went like private investments went hitting the let's say space, because of all the investments and money was poured. We've seen some trends, new trends of investments, and we've seen also that we are dependent on space technologies. And we've seen also the rise of SpaceX like never before. So during that time, we've been watching how it's moving forward. So with all this, we see that everyone is interested today in space. Before, you wouldn't see a lot of activities that they are related to space. Only the old, let's say, the previous communities that they were just the privileged one, space engineers, they were there. Today, what I try to do also is bring women from all over the sectors with different knowledge, background, and put them forward in order to make them understand what is space. And how you can find your place in the space ecosystem, because you don't have to be space engineers. You can be just a lawyer. You can be digital marketing.
I'm interested in that.
You can be a science communicator that's coming from another field and start talking about space. Of course, knowledge is important, and that's what I do, is try to mentor these people and ladies especially, to tell them go ahead and acquire the knowledge, because it's very important. If you want it, if you have the will to enter into this ecosystem and this field, you need to get what it takes from soft skills and hard skills in order to make it through.
It's very important, it's very nice, especially when we saw as well here in the region, Misbar al-Amal, Hope Probe. How did you feel about that, especially that there were women involved as well?
Exactly, it was like something, it's like a dream coming true to see the first Arabic nation making it, and to see also in terms of like from a perspective that I see how the economy of the space economy is developing all over the world. So it's not, and I mentioned that during the speech earlier, it's not in the hands of the powerful countries that they were, what I say is powerful, space powers. So it's now we have new entrants, we have private actors, and also we have new countries that are entering into this. And I see that the UAE by 2030 is going to be one also of the space powers in the world and in the region.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Malak, for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
شكرا لكل الناس اللي تابعتنا في برنامجكم سماشي. اليوم كنا عم نغطي فعالية جديدة، واليوم كنا بقمة المستقبل للابتكار في دبي. غطينا مواضيع عديدة لها علاقة بالمستقبل، سواء كان الفضاء، الاستدامة، الميتافيرس، الNFTs والعديد من المواضيع الأخرى. نتمنى أنكم تكونوا استمتعتوا معنا، ومنشوفكم بحلقة جديدة وفعالية أخرى.